Okay, hi everyone, Daryl here. This is lesson 6 in my YouTube series Investing 101. Today we're going to talk about total debt servicing ratio, or what some people call TDSR for short. Okay, so a bit about what total debt servicing ratio or TDSR is. TDSR was actually introduced on 28th of June 2013 by the Singapore government. It was actually to encourage financial prudence among borrowers. If you guys were in the property market at that point in time, you will know that actually the Singapore government tried to introduce a couple of rounds of cooling measures to try to cool down the property market. We actually had a major global recession sometime in 2008. That was the global financial crisis. And after the global financial crisis, interest rates were artificially low. It is still artificially low today. And what happened was that Singapore property prices were shooting up. Uh, Financing was easy to come by, and many buyers actually were over leveraging themselves. So the Singapore government actually stepped in and tried to encourage financial prudence among borrowers. That's why they came up with this total debt servicing ratio. So TDSR is actually a percentage of an individual's income that can be used towards serving his debt obligations like home loans, car loans, credit card debts, and personal loans. Okay, so let's take a look at TDSR. So TDSR is actually set at 60%. So for example, if a salaried person earns $10,000 a month, okay, the total value of his monthly installments cannot exceed 6,000 because 60% of $10,000 is 6,000. Okay, then a lot of people will ask, then what about commission agents, or if let's say I'm collecting rent from my property, can I use that as income to pledge towards buying another property? You can, but what happens is that you will be subjected to a 30% haircut. So commission agents, like let's say like myself, I'm a property agent, and let's say like insurance agents, because we don't earn a fixed income every month, our income varies. So if let's say we declare to the income tax department, IRAS, we declare to the tax department that we earn 10,000 a month based on our tax statements, then this based on this TDSR, there has to be a 30% haircut. So if let's say I, as a commission agent, earn 10,000 a month, 30% haircut will mean that only $7,000 of my income will be considered. So the total value of my monthly installments cannot exceed 4,200, because 4,200 is 60% of 7,000. So the same formula is applied for rental income, monthly bonus, income from part-time and freelance work. So if you're a part-timer or freelance, like let's say you're a freelance web designer, and then you declare that you earn $10,000 a month, then only $7,000 will be considered. And then 60% of that 7,000 can go to your total debt servicing ratio. This is not just to buy a house, but it's also to service your other loans like car loans, any study loans, personal loans, credit card debt. Okay, so for rental income, it's the same. In the past, right, what happens was that before this TDSR came up, some people were actually purchasing a property, then renting it out, then using that rental income to add into their income, to increase their income, then they borrow from the bank again. Then they keep doing this. So like you buy the next property, then you use that property rental income to add to your income to apply for a loan again. So now you can't do that. Your rental income is subjected to the same 30% haircut. So if you're renting out your one-bedroom apartment for 2,000 Singapore dollars, based on the 30% haircut, the bank will only add $1,400 to your considered income. Okay. So then other features of the TDSR include the fact that interest rates of 3.5% for residential properties and 4.5% for non-residential properties are used for stress tests. That means that if let's say the bank wishes to grant you a loan of, let's say maybe $1 million, they cannot be basing the installment on the current interest rate, because current interest rate is very low. So the interest rate which they must base on to get the installment, your monthly installment, is actually 3.5% if you're purchasing a residential property. Okay, then next will be the income weighted average age. This is something which I will touch on the later presentation. Then guarantors are considered as joint borrowers. So if let's say you think that your income is insufficient, you actually get somebody to come on board as a guarantor. The guarantor will also undertake this debt together with you and add it on to his total debt servicing ratio. So it's not that worth it for him as well. Okay, and then the value of financial assets are subjected to haircut of up to 70%. What this means is that some people, they may not use their income to apply to the bank for a loan. What they'll do is that they will use the assets that they have, maybe stocks, current properties, or whatever assets they have. They will like bonds or whatever notes, then they will actually pledge it to the bank, and then the bank will say, oh, okay, since you have these assets, right, I'm willing to grant you a loan. Okay, but based on whatever assets they have, they are all subjected to haircuts as well, and the haircut can be up to 70%. Okay, and one more thing is that there is actually more stringent application process currently in place after the implementation of this TDSR. Okay, so that's all for today. See you at the next video.